All right, so I am sitting at a small waterfall here in Daniel Boone National Forest. I'll post a couple of videos on that later on when I get to that point. I'm actually really behind on posting videos from where I've been and what I've been doing. I know I've got some trail videos in there, but those only took about an hour to edit, and these other ones take a lot longer. I'm only using about probably 10% of the video footage that I'm taking, trying to keep it somewhat interesting since I know that some of this stuff can drag on. But the other problem is uploading is a huge issue. I can watch YouTube, I can watch Netflix on 2 bars, but when I try to upload even on 3 bars and 4G, it takes hours. And the last video that I posted, I think, took over 2 hours to upload. So it's not real conducive to trying to move around from spot to spot and see a lot of things and take care of the videos at the same time. So finally found a good spot to do this. And so this is what this video is going to be, but it is about 4 days ago. That's where the video ends. So it's been 4 days since that, and I've got more video footage beyond that. But I wanted to also answer some questions that people have asked. A couple I've gotten more than once. So let me show you a few things about those questions. So a couple of questions that I've received. One of them is about the mount that I use on my dash, and that's actually hard mounted or fixed to my windshield. So I've got this GoPro camera here that I haven't really used on this trip. I did use it in my trip last year. So I need to get that set up. So I've got a GoPro type mount. I took this knob from another unit that I had, and then this is nothing more than a spring action holder. And sometimes when the vibrations get too much, I'll have to just press on this a little bit to keep it stable. But overall, it works well. Before that, I was holding my camera a lot, and I would have to edit quite a bit of the footage because I'm not paying attention to the camera, I'm paying attention to driving, so I'd veer off or down. And now with this mount, it takes care of that problem for the most part. I'll still hold it by hand on occasion if I want to show some things to the side, but I do try to plan on doing some different angles which people have suggested off of the side, either on the roof or maybe over here would be nice, or on this side, and maybe I can just duplicate this in a couple of other areas, but I'll have to play with that and figure it out. And then in addition to that, I did use my dash cam in the last video that I did for the off-roading video. And this I don't really use too much for footage. This is just a safety net for covering anything that I do stupid or that somebody else does. This is just on a continuous loop, but I have grabbed some images from it. So that's pretty much how I have everything mounted. I did actually do a video using that mount outside. The problem with that is the camera's outside, which means the phone's outside, and if it happens to fly off, I would only do that at low speeds, but it could damage it, and I really don't want to damage my phone. I don't know if I'll use that in the future or not. So that pretty much covers how I've got the mounts. I did try something like this, but I couldn't get it tight enough, and the vibrations with the Jeep just made this thing, it's just, the tolerances on it are horrible. And what I ended up using that for instead was I've got a couple of these solar lights, and I just clip that inside there, and it holds it up against the dash so it gets charged while I'm driving. So it did come in useful anyway. The other question that I get a few times now is about the Garmin, and this Garmin is a Drive Smart 50 LMT. I've been pretty happy with it, and I've turned off the avoidances feature, so it covers things like carpool lanes, but more importantly, it turns off dirt roads, or it turns off the function that it won't put you on dirt roads. So if I say I want to go from one point to another, it will take me on a dirt road if it's the quickest route, or if I decide I just want to go there. So I'm pretty happy with that, and you have to zoom in though. That's the real problem with it. So these white lines and then the light gray lines, those are probably either gravel roads or dirt roads. In this particular forest, a lot of them end in dead ends. In West Virginia, a lot of them looped, so I probably drove 200 to 300 miles in West Virginia, just going on dirt roads and trails. But here in this forest, a lot of them end in dead ends, especially up north in the northern part of the forest. But I can program multiple points, and it did want to take me all the way around this park to get to my next destination, but I wanted to go through the park, so I created all these different points so that it would take the roads that I wanted to go on and stay in the park more often. So that's a good feature as well. But the big thing was people wanted to know how I found these dirt roads, and I just found them by zooming in on this. So I would zoom in on certain areas, follow the road, see where it came out, and then decide to take it. But it did even eventually pick up the off-roading trails, and even tried to take me on one to one of my routes without asking. So you do have to be careful with it. When it says it'll take you on dirt roads, it doesn't mean that you are going to have a 4x4 vehicle and it doesn't care if you do or you don't. I've found that out too. So, but a cool function to use if you have the ability to do it, and you know, give it a shot if you've got something like this. But I think this unit was about $120. I'm sure you can probably get them a bit cheaper now. So if you have any other questions, I will try to answer them in the comments below. Sorry if it takes a day or two, but trying to, you know, tour around and Overland and edit video and keep up with YouTube and the comments and everything else, it can take quite a while for me to get back on some comments. I'll respond to as many as I can, or if I haven't, you know, responded to something similar already in the same comment section. But definitely leave your comments below, leave your questions below, and I do read all of them. I will go through them and answer them if I can. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and enjoy the next few minutes of what I did, I don't know, from about a week to 4 days ago. I guess it's just AM in these parts. So there's the sign, highest point in West Virginia, and Spruce Knob. So the sun makes it a little bit dark, but you can see the mountain range on one of these pullovers, and I'm not quite at the top yet. So this is a tower that is at the highest point in West Virginia. When they built this tower, all these trees weren't here. So now all the trees have grown up, and you can't really see anything other than this way. So this is what I woke up to and what I've been listening to all night. So I've been driving through all those mountains for, I think, my 4th day now. I've stayed 3 nights in this area, and I am not ready to leave. It is just, I don't know, there's something about it.